Alright, we're going to talk about the theme options panel, and I'm just going to jump right into it because it's a little bit easier to show you than to talk about what it is. And we can find out by coming all the way down to the bottom and selecting theme options, and that's where I'm at. And most of this is pretty self-explanatory, okay, such as right here we have logos. We can upload our main logo, so the one that goes here. It's size specific. This is not going to crop it down for you. So if you upload a giant honkin' logo, it's going to display in your giant honkin'. It's not going to squeeze it up or squish it or perfectly position it for you. Next is the favicon. That's the little icon that you see right here in this tab. That's size specific as well, as in 16 by 16, and it also needs to be an ICO file. It has to be that. Next is your meta information. This is for SEO purposes. Is where you type in your keywords, your metadata. If you're using an SEO plugin, you don't need to worry about this. Our footer, that's for our copyrights, which we have right here. Excuse me about that. Right here. And then the system, don't worry about this, but until you're ready to, I guess, to accept emails and get notifications and things like that. That's what you put in here is your email address that you want to receive these notifications, you know, whether it's from your contact or whatever else. Next, we have the home page, and we have our settings for our home page slider. Right now, we have what's called the Nivo slider, and you've probably seen this before, where it's got different animations and different slide types, things like that. Right now, I'm using the random effect. Okay, so I actually come in here and I've chosen randoms, which shows obviously all these that are random, but I can come in here and maybe choose just one that I want to play with. Update this. Now I'm only going to have just this one effect because that's the one I chose. Personally, I like random because it's pretty cool because you're seeing different things. Put this back. And then once you scroll below that, you'll have things like autoplay, meaning is it going to change by itself or only by click. Pause and hover, how much time in between, how long until it actually changes if it's on autoplay, and then the time in effect. Okay, you also can do what's called the parallax slider. And this one, basically, the image changes and then the box of text comes in. And you've seen things like this before, so we'll see that the text box shows up a little bit later. Alright? And then last, we have the anything slider, and that's something that takes, you know, anything, basically image or a movie or whatever else. So that's the options that we have for our slider. Next we have our action bar, and that is this right here. You have two choices. You can either display your tweets from Twitter, or what you can do is you can do custom text. Maybe you don't have a Twitter account, or maybe you don't want to show it, or you know, whatever the case may be. So you know, you put some text here, some text and stuff here. All right, your link, like where it's going to actually go to. So it can go to CNN.com, Google.com, it's going to go somewhere on the site, paste in that link. It's got to be the full HTTP link, and then the actual, you know, name of that link. So maybe you read more or something. So here we are, some text, and then my read more link. So if you don't have to always use Twitter, you can actually use something else. And I obviously only did a little bit of text, but the more text you put in there, the more this is going to fill out. So it looks a little silly now. Alright, go ahead and put this back. Layout settings. Here is where you can actually choose a background color. You can choose a background that's already set up. You can set it to none. So maybe I want to choose, I know this is harsh right now. So, a little ugly, but you can actually play around with things if you want to change something up. So let me go ahead and delete this out and put this back to default. And then as well as you can actually upload a custom background pattern. So maybe you obtained one, created one, whatever, you can upload it that way. Social marketing, these would be for your social icons here. These only show up if you paste in a URL. So right now Facebook is showing up, but if I delete this pseudo link, we'll now see that Facebook is now going to disappear. Gone. Okay, so simple as that. If you don't want it, you don't add your link. Typography. Now, this comes with a really big warning on typography. People have the tendency to go crazy and changing font sizes and font colors, and I want 30 different fonts and just doing too much. KISS, keep it simple, stupid. I suggest whatever we're turning over to you, leave it as is. Maybe do subtle little changes within your pages here and there. I really wouldn't mess with this too much. However, it's still my duty to kind of show you how this works, even if it's begrudgingly so. All right, hyperlink color. All right, so you can set our hyperlink color, and let me do this real quick. Let me come, let's see. Whoops. Let me do, I guess this will work. So I'm just going to put hyperlink here. If I publish this, let's see. What am I doing? I'm doing something goofy here. I'm not doing something right. Alright, let me start over. Remove the trash. Let me do a page because I got to do a bunch of other things for the blog, and that's probably not the right thing to do. Do a page. Let's try this again. Hyperlink. Here. Alright, oh, I didn't set my hyperlink last time. That was my dumb fault. Duh. Okay, so now I got my hyperlink. Publish. Alright, so here's our hyperlink. And this is, see the color? Now I get a rollover of green and an underline. Okay, so we'll see those right here. We'll see the color of the hyperlink, the rollover green, and then the underline. So I can actually change my color if I want to. Let me save this, come in here and do, so we can make sure it's working. I'll set it with an underline, change this to no other underline on the rollover, and we'll do a purple. So now anytime I make a hyperlink, by default, those are the colors it's going to have. So I'm not constantly having to go in there and manage and maintain it and update it. It's always consistent. So that's what we get. Okay, pretty easy, right? Yep, and I forgot to save this green that we were doing. Good enough. Save. Oops, underline. Get out of here. A lot of clicking. I'm doing my best to kind of not bore you too much to death. So now we're back to where we were. Okay, headings, content, banner, and list I'll save it aside, but these three are all the same thing. Headings are the large font, so such as titles. So for instance, you'll see hyperlink here. That's a font size, like an H1 or an H2. So you can come in here and you can set your font type, your font color, and that kind of thing for all your H tags. And then real quick, your H tag would be if you did something like this. So hyperlink, title here, and now I chose H3. So right now this is what an H3 looks like by default. However, if I find H3, we'll see font, default, and if I do like Comic Sans and I change my color and then my font size, this is what I was given that warning for before. People start coming in here and getting all too crazy and trying to be all creative and artistic when they're when they're not. Oops. Update. I've refreshed the wrong page. So there we are. There's our font color. There's our new font type, and I probably have to do. I think we have to do PT. I can't even remember. I never use this anymore because it's just a bad idea. There we are, PT. So I forgot that part. So let's put this back. how it was, to default. Oh, which reminds me, speaking of default, real quick, a big warning. At the bottom of this options panel, we have restore defaults. This resets the whole system. Let me say that again. This resets the whole system. If you come in here, you made all these changes, like, oh, I messed up, I need to reset. If you hit that, that's not only resetting this, that's resetting this entire options panel. So any changes you've made prior to that are gone. It's a system default reset. Make sure you're aware of that and you don't reset everything and then you've lost your changes. Okay, so anyways, that works the same for headings, works the same for content as far as selecting your actual content, your paragraph font. I'm hoping you know what that is. And then your banner, you can actually control your banner font for here, which is actually great. And get that to the trash. Okay, lists are bullet points, and this is a new feature that we've added. It's great, it's fantastic. You can actually set your type of list, unordered list or ordered lists, and I should have left that page open. Just in case you don't know what a list is, here is, whoops, a list, right? So I highlight this, and then I choose unordered list. Don't worry about how fast I'm going through this. I'm going to cover these internal pages in other videos, but I got to kind of pump through because this video is getting long. This is what we have right now. Here's our list. Little bullet points and blah, blah, blah. So if I come back to the theme options, oh, where am I? Typography, sorry. All right, so there's my color. So maybe I change my color. Oops, I can change the font type a little, you know, if you need to. So if the actual font looks different, I can change the font size, the indent, like how much space. So right now, that's all the space that we have is this little, you know, small amount. Now we have all this space. Okay, you'll see the font has now changed because I did the Georgia font, I think. You can do line space. I have to make it extreme so you can see. Oops, wrong one. Now we got space in between each one. You can choose the type of bullet you want to do, square, whatever. You get the idea. Custom image. You can actually upload your size, or your, you know, your image. It's a star, or it's, you know, whatever it may be. You can actually use your own. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this back. We have stuff on here, so I need to make sure we don't on our on this that listed out now. That's looking pretty good. And then the Georgia, see ya. Forgot that. Alrighty, hanging in there. I hope so. We're 14 minutes into this thing, and I'm going as fast as I can. Trust me. Okay, last but not least is the blog. We have what we call our footer faves. And that is this right here. These fun poking out boxes. First, we can set it to not even show it. Maybe you don't want them, maybe it's too much for you. We can do just 3, as in, it's only going to show 3, or we can stack it and show a total of 6. Below that is your title, so don't forget to check out our faves. That's what we have. That's this right here. You can change that, and then your category, where this pulls from. I'm going to touch base back on this again when I'm doing blog posts. But basically, as you make a blog post, you have your categories, you know, bride and groom, events, weddings, photographers, whatever. Well, whatever category you choose in here, that is the category that's going to make your post show up here automatically. And if you don't choose it, it doesn't show up. But again, I'll go back and touch on this on blog post videos. All right, that's it for, oh, the author box, I almost forgot. Show author info on blog posts. You can choose yes or no. And if we look at this post, we'll see an author box, and you're wondering if you don't know enough, hey, how do I get my information on this? That would be under users. I should click profile real quick, that's easier. And then you'll see this information right here. So about yourself, you can input your information, and then it automatically populates this box for you. Okay? Also, the image is pulling what's called Gravatar. You have to sign up for something called Gravatar. It's a free service. They work with WordPress. You sign up for it. It's free. You use the email that you're going to use from your WordPress blog that you're signing up for, and then you upload an image. So anytime you use that email on any WordPress blog, it populates that image for you automatically. All right, that'll do it.